G'day and welcome back to a sweet episode of The Weedy Garden. I'm going to show you something very simple. Something that might just change the way you think about that word sweet. Some people, they don't like the sound of someone enjoying a nice fruit salad because the sound is a yummy slurping sound. So as I'm going to eat my fruit salad and tell this story, I'm going to do a voiceover narrative. So sit back and take a cup of tea or a fruit salad and enjoy another episode of The Weedy Garden. I'm going to show you how easy it is to grow the plants that can give you a beautiful tropical fruit salad right from your own garden. Because once you've tasted sweetness that comes straight from your own garden, well, there's really no comparison. If you live in the tropics or the subtropics, these plants will grow beautifully. And there's a wonderful thing about fruit trees. You don't really grow them. They grow themselves. And trees have been doing that naturally for millions of years. All we have to do is give them good soil, sunshine, water, and a little bit of love. Let's go and harvest some fruit. The fig. A fig is not technically a fruit. It's a hollow ball filled with flowers. So when you eat it, you're essentially eating a bouquet of hundreds of little tiny flowers. Figs are incredibly adaptable, which is one reason they've followed humans around the world for thousands of years. It's one of the oldest cultivated fruit trees on Earth. You can grow figs pretty much anywhere. They can tolerate minus 10 degrees frost, and they're surprisingly drought tolerant. And the roots, they're really good water finders, and they'll travel far to find water. So don't plant them near your house or septic tanks or pipes or foundations, because they might come in and ruin those. And the fig ripens overnight, okay? You can't pick them before they're ripe. They only ripen on the tree. And its fragrance travels through the air and the birds pick it up instantly. And that's why as soon as they're ready, the birds will come and get them. So you have to go and check them every morning. Ah, yes, the banana. Musa sapientum. It means food for the wise men. When you think about it, the banana really is food for the wise. It grows incredibly fast, it produces enormous yields, and turns sunlight into calories almost faster than any other plant in the garden. Exactly the sort of plant that a wise gardener would grow. And the banana is a very hungry plant, so you can't overfeed a banana. They say the banana is radioactive, but you have to eat 1 million bananas at once to die from radioactive poisoning. And the banana grows about 30 to 60 centimeters a week up here in the Weedy Garden, but not the dwarf bananas. They're probably like half that. And the banana, it's not actually a tree. It's actually a grass. It's from the herb family. And it photosynthesizes through the whole plant. Each plant only fruits once, and you got to chop it down. And then we have the pineapple. I just did a video on the pineapples, so watch that video and you'll learn all about pineapples, but it's very simple. You just twist the top off, put it in a jar of water, or you can just put it straight in the ground, but you've got to make sure the ground stays moist and it likes well-drained soil. Everything in the garden likes well-drained soil, because well-drained soil means that all the microbes don't drown, right? You need it to be aerobic. So all the plants on this video all love the same thing. And then we have the mango. Lots of sunshine, water, and good compost. It's a happy mango. And then we have the dragon fruit. The dragon fruit's a cactus, but it's not really a desert cactus. It doesn't like the desert. It's actually more like a rainforest cactus. And it likes to grow up things. Usually they grow up the rainforest trees, and they don't fruit while they're growing up. But when they start to hang, that's when they start to flower. And the flowers, they only open up for 24 hours. Not even that. And they come out fully at night time. So you actually have to come out at night time to help them and pollinate them. And I do that with a little brush at night time when they're fully open. You really have to do that because by the time you get out in the mid-morning, they've already closed up. A lot of the native bees like the dragon fruit flowers, but they also get pollinated by the moths and the night insects. But if you don't have enough night insects or any lights to attract them, then you'll lose a lot of dragon fruits. So I really make an effort to pollinate my dragon fruits. So I've got mine growing on a trellis in the garden. So they go up the trellis and then they start to hang and then they're ready to start flowering. They do like partial shade. They don't like to be out in the full sun because they'll get sunburned in the full sun. And they don't like frost. -3 and you'll have a dead dragon fruit. In my opinion, I think the insects probably pollinate about 20% of the dragon fruit. And if I don't do anything, that's about all I get. So I make sure I do go and pollinate them at night time. And then there's the guava. The guava is one of the most nutrient-dense fruits that I have in my garden. It's got 4 to 5 times more vitamin C than an average orange. And it's a great pollinator. It attracts the bees. A lot of people grow them in their garden just because of the trunk. It's a piece of art. It's got a really strong smell when it ripens, and they ripen overnight. And that smell travels on the wind, and the birds smell it from far, far away, and they'll come and eat them. So as soon as they're ready, they'll get eaten by the birds. So you've got to keep your eye on the tree and harvest them every day. The orange, on the other hand, is quite interesting because it develops its sweetness through the sunlight. Right? It's like sunshine wrapped in a peel, the orange. And they become orange because of the cool nights in the autumn time. But here in the subtropics, we don't get cool nights. So they don't ever really turn orange. They kind of turn yellowy, greeny colour, but they're still ripe and truly juicy and sweet inside. But you can't overfeed citrus. I give mine lots of cow manure, lots of chicken manure, lots of compost, lots of mulch, and they're growing in swales and they're doing very well. But the FLHive, you can get a little friend referral from the Weedy Garden. And obviously you're watching your friend of the Weedy Garden, so just check out the website. There's a link in my description here on this video where you can save a little bit of money. If you're thinking about getting a FLHive, I'm really happy for my FLHive. I've harvested lots of honey. And then we've got the watermelon. You always know when a watermelon's ready because it has a nice drummy sound when you flick it. And just before the vine connects to the watermelon, there's a little thing called the pig's tail. It's a little curly part. When that's dry, then you know it's ready. And if it goes a nice hollow sound when you flick it, then it's ready. Well, there you go, folks. A simple fruit salad grown right here in the garden. Every piece of fruit in this bowl started as a tiny plant, a cutting or a seed. And with a little sunshine, a bit of patience, and a bit of love from the soil, it turns into something sweet enough to make your eyes roll back in your head. And that's the magic of gardening. It doesn't really matter whether you live in the subtropics or the tropics or the Mediterranean or even somewhere a bit dry. If you put plants in the ground and take care of the soil beneath your feet, nature has this beautiful way of giving back. Wherever you are in the world, I really encourage you to plant something. A fruit tree, a pineapple, a banana, or even just a herb in a pot. Because once you grow your own food, even something as simple as a bowl of fruit salad, it becomes something completely different. It becomes a story. Thanks for spending a bit of time with me here in the garden. Until next time, keep growing enjoy your gardens, enjoy your lives. If you need a bit of help in your garden, I can come and visit you. You can come and visit me. It all happens on theweedygarden.com.